So, Poppy's Playtime. It's a game that I hope that we're going to tackle here on the channel. Guys, thoughts?
Yeah.
You guys will. I'll be there to watch.
I'm invested in horror stuff. I love it so much.
Yes.
How about you, Don?
Oh my god, I can't wait to play Poppy's Playtime. Is that what I was supposed to say, Alicia?
Yeah. Also, flip to page 3 of the script.
Yeah.
And, yep. Okay. Okay, YouTube. Actually, earlier in this call, we actually talked about us playing the chapters of Poppy's Playtime. I personally played the first chapter of Poppy's Playtime already on my own channel, so Fax will be the one playing it here on this channel.
Woo!
That's right. And for chapter 2, Dawn will be playing chapter 2 here on this channel because I quote, he said, "I am not a pussy. I can take one chapter."
No, I think he was talking about some other stuff when he was talking about what I can take.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
They're absolutely both wrong because I am one and I hate horror games, so we won't be. I'll be there to watch.
No, you're
and when
playing chapter
watch,
2 because then you both said, Alicia, you play 3 and 4.
Oh, you playing both?
That's what you guys told. Do you guys have like literally bird brains? What is happening?
Yeah, I don't remember what we spoke about.
I remember
can't
doing
even
that,
lie.
and then there was like a different portion after that where it was like, yeah, we'll do a bit more.
Oh my
But
god!
I'm down. I'm down
yeah,
for
no,
bullying.
Fact said here do 3 and you do 4.
Oh!
I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if I do 2, we're not finishing 2. So
You're gonna do 2. Do it for the
I
homies,
don't-
man. Do it for the fans. You can't be like that. Come on.
Come, I'm scared. What do you mean?
You think we're
genuinely don't
not?
Huh?
Do you think we're not?
I feel like you don't have more. I feel like you are less scared than me. Like I don't even like
Fax
roller
and I
coasters.
literally cry. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I piss myself. It's the same thing.
Oh.
Is
well,
that it's the same thing? We're same amount of skin. Do it.
Just because we have better bladder control does not mean that we're not equally scared.
No, I just get so scared that I'm like, oh, and then I pee myself.
I'm sorry, that sound one more time for me. That sound one more time.
No.
I'm gonna be like, oh no. That's what I'm gonna do.
My voice can't be deep for everything.
How long did it take you to do the first one, like to complete it?
The first chapter? I did it like a year ago. I think it took me maybe 2 hours at most. Maybe like an hour and something. It was pretty quick. It wasn't that long.
Oh,
I heard
okay,
3 and 4.
so,
I heard 3 and 4 are long, but 2's not.
okay, so 2 will probably take me about 2 days then.
Insane behavior. Anyways, if you want to check us out playing Poppy Playtime, all of the chapters here on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can bet rod with us besties. That's why I stick around the channel for uploads. So many uploads, so much fun times and terrifying times. And let's get into it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this game's even about. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. It's been a whole year since the previous chapter, and in the meantime,
long
Mob
enough.
has done what they do
That shit
best,
was
giving out
awful.
more lore than you can shake a mechanical arm at. But don't worry, loyal
Yay.
theorists, because I have played the spin-offs, I watched every trailer, I even read the book. Also,
You need
don't
help.
have to.
I'm
Here
sorry,
is
there's spin-offs and books?
There's a spin-off as in like a TV show or spin-off as in like a spin-off game?
I would assume spin-off game, but I'm not really sure.
I
I
mean,
have
he's
no
done
idea.
it for us, so we don't need to check it out ourselves.
All right.
everything you need to know about the Poppy Playtime line.
Don't tell me that's a doll, bro. I'm gonna have trauma.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's ready to take its relationship with Poppy to the next level. We got nothing. No new character, no new trailer, not even a release date.
So he doesn't
That's right, just like Scott was releasing games so fast Matt couldn't keep up, not 5 minutes before our recent theory dropped, Mob Entertainment released a new trailer with a new
that
character
sucks.
and
God
a
damn.
release date. 5
timing.
minutes? Are you kidding me? I'm
That is the most YouTuber struggle I've ever heard. God damn.
convinced Poppy wasn't brought to life for lore reasons. It was to troll me for all eternity. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing to us this week. Regardless, because of Mob's ridiculous and seemingly never-ending amount of content leading up to Chapter 4's release, it can be a little tricky to keep up with everything. We've had a book, 2 ARGs, a Roblox spin-off, and over
What's an
a
ARG?
dozen teasers and videos. But if you're
Augmented reality game.
Oh. okay.
Yeah.
Or
But there's a Roblox one. I didn't know that either. We should do that at some point. That'd be cool.
Wait, what is
Yeah, I'm down.
augmented reality?
It can be done in different ways. So some augmented reality games can be done through your phone, where you place it around yourself while playing. So kind of like, remember how Pokemon Go? There was like you could like have it so you could see like the world around you through your phone and still catch the Pokemon without the green background.
Oh yeah.
Maybe like that's considered an ARG because augmented reality.
Oh.
Now augmented reality is a very large genre beyond that, so it can be done in many different forms, but that's just one of them.
Pokemon Go was a blast.
You're someone that's only played the games, or you just haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then there's been a whole year worth of story that you would have no idea about going into Chapter 4. So today, I'm going to give you all a hand and fill you in from the beginning with all the important names, dates, and lore Mob has given us, as well as a few theories of our own for good measure, all in one cohesive timeline. Now, this is a big task, so instead of doing this like our usual theories, I wanted to try treating this like our FNAF timeline.
Oh,
it's more story-focused, with references in the bottom corner showing thumbnails, books, titles, basically any citations that I'll be pulling from. I've also got this nifty little traffic light symbol in the top corner to clear things up. Green means what I'm saying are facts that we have physical evidence for. Amber means what I'm saying is theory, but it's supported by evidence. And red means it's speculation that makes sense for the story, but we don't have a lot of evidence for. So keep a close eye on your screens, theorists. It's time to analyze the history of this forgotten factory. Just be careful that the screen doesn't stare back.
Oh, okay. There's no need for that.
Playtime Co. was founded in the good old US of A in 1930. Quickly, it became one of the most well-renowned toy companies in the world, priding itself in making toys locally instead of overseas like its competitor Mattel. Yes, that Mattel, the ones who made Barbie.
I know exactly where you're going with this. I have to say, I really resent it.
All of this success was thanks to one man, the founder of Playtime Co., Elliot Ludwig. All he wanted was to bring joy to children, but sadly, that noble goal meant that he spent all of his time at work, neglecting his own family, and his wife had had enough, divorcing him that same year. Nevertheless, Elliot pushed forward, though for 2 decades, he struggled to figure out the key to innovating the toy-making world, until finally he hit a breakthrough.
2 decades? My God.
Damn.
In 1950, Elliot created a toy that would change the world forever. Poppy Playtime.
A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers. She is the first doll actually able to have a conversation with a child.
Not only that, but her hair also smelled like poppies, which had been used throughout history to help children fall asleep, making her an instant hit with the parents. How did Elliot achieve this incredible feat? Well, because Poppy wasn't just a plastic toy. Elliot used organic parts to make her, allowing Poppy to really seem alive. He just needed to add a quick
Organic
refund
parts?
policy to anyone who tried to fix
Elaborate.
the Poppy doll themselves, just to keep it under wraps.
Where did he get organic parts
Thankfully,
from?
no one ever discovers this little secret of Elliot's.
Well, I guess we're gonna
Poppy
find
sales
out.
alone can't keep the
Is he
toy
murdering
company afloat. So they release a handful of new toys, like Bron the Dinosaur in 1961, or Boxy Boo in 1966.
Oh, that's cool.
Though none of them really compare to Poppy in terms of popularity. But then, out of nowhere, tragedy struck. Since day one, Elliot had been encouraging his employees to adopt, to bring joy to children who had none of their own. And he lived by example, adopting a daughter of his own. Finally, the family that the family man had always wanted, until she passed away before his very eyes. There was nothing he could do to save her. All Elliot could do was take the biological knowledge he had and turn her into another organic Poppy doll, just so he could keep part of her with him forever, so part of her could live on. Little did he know how successful that experiment would be. Somehow, his daughter's mind managed to survive the process. Naturally, Elliot is shocked by this. His daughter is back, living on inside this doll that he made. He couldn't let her fall out of his grasp again, so he builds a family home inside the factory storage bay and locks her inside a glass case to keep her safe. He even adds a passage leading directly to his office so he can visit her whenever he or she wants. With his family now returned to him, his passion to strive for innovation was restored.
Holy sh! That is so cool! I never understood that part. That's so cool. Holy
Cool. Just
I
like,
under-
It's part of the game.
what?
yeah, it's a part of the game, and it's like there's like a bunch of like VHS stuff while you're watching while you're playing the game, that it's like really cool. It gives you a lot of lore about the actual factory and stuff. It's not really covered that much in this video, but it's like a lot about like the creation of it and people talking to like in like recordings. It's really cool. It's really cool for the first chapter. I don't know about any other ones, but yeah, the ending I didn't really fully understand, but that's like it's very cool like, to understand more about the actual doll being his daughter type of
So
thing.
much ambition, he rose back up and continued to fulfill his vision for the Playtime Co. toy factory.
The first thing he needed was more people like him. Smart, capable people that could help him continue
Not
to
us.
innovate and answer the
Yeah,
toughest
exactly.
questions the world
Okay.
had to offer. Like, say, how was a child able to live on inside a doll, perhaps? But older minds are harder to shape. He needed people who still had some of that childlike wonder. And thus,
So
the
he
Young
hired
Geniuses
teenagers?
program was born. Elliot sent out flyers and posters similar to that of the time period, trying to
Creative
gather
people
young
learn like
minds
that.
together to turn them into the scientists of the future, stamped with the logo he'd been using for Playtime since the early days. This attracted many young and bright individuals,
this is
including
fucked
a
up.
brilliant, albeit slightly cold young man named Harley Sawyer. Harley was a peculiar character. He didn't care for his comrades, he hardly smiled, but one thing he clearly loved was science, and Elliot took a liking to this strange boy. He may
That's
not
nice.
have been
I wonder.
normal, but neither was Elliot. He saw part of himself in Harley. This was the kind of kid he could take under his wing, mold into someone who could really shape the future, and maybe even catapult Playtime into the stratosphere of success. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out. Harley never lost his distaste for others, and while he continued to pursue innovation, he was just doing so to push the boundaries of what could be done, not to help humanity
hell
like Elliot
yeah.
envisioned.
Oh.
That being said, Elliot didn't give up. He kept
created a
trying
monster.
to change Harley's point of view, but no matter how hard he tried,
I'm sorry, this Elliot sound like the kind of dude to be like, I can fix him. I can fix him. No,
yeah.
he's a smart
Yeah.
guy. I see myself in him. Like it's that energy, dude. Holy
it was no use. Harley could not change. Not here anyway. And so Elliot makes the hard decision to kick Harley
Fires
out
him.
of the
Yeah.
program, sending him home to the outside world to be around more people, hoping it
Listen,
will
that
help
doesn't
him
end
to
well.
understand why they do what they do. Harley was destroyed by this news. His hero, Elliot Ludwig, was abandoning him. All he could see Elliot as
Abandon him.
was soft, pathetic, and short-sighted, backstabbing him because he was too much of a genius for Elliot to understand.
Oh, no.
Though it didn't matter. He
Oh,
had to
boy.
do what he was told. And so Harley left the program, disappearing from the halls of Playtime Co. At least for now.
Right.
Foreshadowing.
1970.
Maybe he
As
lets
the
the
years
kid
go
out,
by,
you know?
more and more, Elliot feels like it's not really enough to just encourage his employees to adopt. There are still so many children that need a home, much like his own daughter did. And while the Young Geniuses program was good by taking on young people so late in their childhoods, even they were already stuck in their ways like Harley was. So, in 1976, Elliot announces a new program, Playcare, Playtime's own on-site orphanage, where he can continue to bring joy to children and
On-site?
educate them in the ways they should go, creating a mass of young, brilliant minds that could help lead the world to prosperity. But while all those programs sound
cult,
good on
okay.
paper, and they were well received by the public, they were beginning to cost Elliot a lot of money. Poppy was
Makes
the
sense.
last big financial success, and that was over 2 decades ago. But he can't keep innovating in the toy world and run these programs on his own. He would need more staff. So he hires people like Stella Graber to run the Playcare, Leith Pierre as head of innovation, Eddie M.N. Ritterman as the head of research, and Jimmy Roth as the chief marketing officer.
Oh, he's got a
Their first
face.
assignment, figure out how to stop the company from feeling, quote, old-fashioned. With all their powers combined, they try to get the company back on top, starting with the release of brand new toys like Candy Cat in 1979.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's cute.
They
Did
continue
that
to
go
release
well?
toys into the next decade. They try Swap-Em-Alls that you could mix and match like Cappy and PJ Pugapilla. They also try Kick Me Paul for some reason. But
Okay.
nothing could
What the
quite
heck?
match the success of Elliot's original Poppy. That was until 1984, when Elliot had another idea. He went to the team, and shortly after, he releases the Blue Boy himself, Huggy Wuggy. Things were looking up. Huggy is
I'm sensing some trauma.
I don't know who that is.
No huggies. No huggies.
That smile too creepy.
You got some big lips, kind of like a gollywog. Are you okay?
Are you good?
I'm not. I'm fine. I've hit play. It's fine. It's fine.
He's such a big hit with the kids, it basically becomes the face of the brand. In the eyes of the public, Poppy was a long-forgotten memory. Long live Huggy! Of course, he has to capitalize off of this success by releasing
Right.
Huggy's pink counterpart, Kissy Missy, 1 year later. She too
I don't know
Makes
about
sense.
Kissy Missy. I don't know about that one.
Success, just not as big as Huggy, obviously. Playtime Co. is on top of the world at this point. It's almost like they can do no wrong. But sadly, over the next half of the decade, their profits once again decrease. Sure, Huggy was successful, but just like Poppy before, you can't sustain an entire company off of a single toy, even if he has a cute pink girlfriend. They needed something new, and one of them had an idea. What if you create a bunch of toys as part of a set? That way, kids aren't buying just one toy, but several. Enter the Smiling Critters in 1989. Similar
they're
to
very
Care Bears or
cute.
Cabbage Patch Kids, these are small, cuddly toys with big
Oh, no,
personalities.
they're not. That is
So
terrifying.
you would need to collect them all
What
for
the
the full
hell?
experience. This was the perfect way to increase the dropping sales numbers Playtime was facing. Plus, to really capture the same appeal as Poppy and her poppy-scented hair, these critters would each come with their own unique scents, all with calming
nice.
Okay.
effects. Crafty Corn smells like jasmine, Bobby Bear Hug like rose. But would calming be enough? Poppy's hair literally put children to sleep. That's what made her such a hit with the parents in the 50s. They needed these smiling critters to do the same. So they get to work
So they
developing
ran it back?
one more smiling critter. One with the advertised scent of lavender, a scent associated with sleep, but instead of actually using lavender, they would create a poppy gas. That would
Okay, what the
actively put
Huh?
kids to
What?
sleep, just like Poppy did. They put the smoke inside the purple cat and gave him a name that tied into his sleepy powers, Catnap. And just to be on the safe side, Playtime Co. also commissions the creation of a Saturday morning cartoon featuring this new
smart.
cast of characters, all begging Catnap to help them fall to sleep with his red smoke, showing kids and parents alike that this is just what the toy
so
is meant to
great.
do. Initially, everything is going according to plan.
Oh yeah, I would love a
Until-
red smoke to emanate from my dolls that I give my children. You know what? I don't even monitor what they eat. I just sit them in front of the iPad and slam TV dinners into their mouths. They can eat microplastics. You know
Here's a
what?
cat
Yeah.
nap. Nah, that's weird. And parents loved it. It's some weird parents. I can't
Yeah,
lie.
how many microplastics do you feed your children, Don?
None. None. But I might get them catnap.
Yeah,
God damn.
There we go.
Sales for this new line of
yo.
toys are great. They are flying off the shelves. Both parents and kids really seem to love these new adorable critters, except for Catnap. After a few weeks,
Oh.
doctors began reporting a rise in children suffering from intense nightmares that
Oh.
all started after they
Oh, that ain't
received
good.
their Catnap toys. In Playtime's desperation to mimic the sleep-inducing effects that Poppy had, they'd accidentally concocted something that, yes, put children to sleep, but also gave children horrible nightmares.
But wait,
Thankfully for
but-
belief in the team, no connection.
Why not just do the same thing you did with Poppy, but on another thing?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
Why
why not just make
do-
it poppy scented as well? There's
Yeah,
nothing
or
wrong
why
with
not
making
do like,
poppy
or
scented.
why not just bring Poppy back, or do instead of or like why not just do
Yeah,
it
make
the same?
Sleeping cat
Why-
poppy scented. You don't need to make it
Yeah,
lavender.
it
Like, there's-
worked.
like, what the
Because they didn't even do lavender. They did the
the gas. They called it
Yeah,
lavender
but
and they
just-
made a gas.
just do
Yeah.
the same thing that Poppy did. It worked. Why change it? Yeah.
It's I don't know, man.
was ever proven, but they still needed to save face.
Hey, did they not
recalled
test it
all of
out?
the Catnap toys and
We gotta gas these kids.
Yeah, but did they not test it on anybody?
That's our
Like,
first thought.
I feel like after 6 months of testing, you would have found out that someone would have been having nightmares. Did you not be like, well, maybe we should test this before we
Yeah.
start gassing
Also,
up
you have
children?
a whole orphanage of kids inside
Yeah,
the
just
place.
test it on them.
Okay, not saying that you should.
I mean, they're there, right? You might as well. I'm sure they got free
I'm
Baby,
giving
toys.
them
why not?
bored.
Baby, come on.
I'm feeding them.
I mean,
The
I'm
least
feeding
they
you.
could
You
do is
got
try my
clothes.
horrific drugs.
You might as well be my test subjects at this point.
Come on.
Like, yeah.
The bare minimum, okay?
Exactly, the bare minimum. Man.
Jonathan, come here. It's time for sleep.
Yeah, I just woke up. You ain't got no choice, boy.
It's nap time.
Catnap was removed from the Smiling Critters lineup entirely.
1990s. That's when I was born.
The Smiling
yeah.
Critters disaster put Playtime Co. in a bad spot.
Oh.
If they were
All three of us were. We're in the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was you though facts or was you 2000 and?
No, 99.
No, you just made it.
Facts at the
You just
cutoff.
made it.
Facts at the cutoff. You're basically 2000. bitch.
Basically, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in there. It ain't done count 2000.
Motherfucker slips the tip and goes, it counts. It
Yeah.
counts.
I was there.
I was
Hey,
yep.
if the tip is all I have, that's everything. That counts. Okay? That counts.
God.
Come on.
were going to survive the next decade, something needed to be done and fast. And so, Leith Pierre put his head of innovation status to good use and came up with an unusual
The person screaming
but
at the back is
effective
jokes.
plan. He hired a private investigator, Jared Lockhart, to track down former members of the Young Geniuses program that Elliot had started decades ago. These people trained under Elliot. They were geniuses from a young age, and most of them had quite impressive careers. If anyone was going to be able to come up with an idea to save this company, it would be one of them. Sometime later, Jared
could bring the
arrives with the
psycho back.
list,
Come
and when
on.
it lands on Leith's desk, there is one option that immediately catches his eye.
Hey, there's the psycho.
yeah.
Good call, Fat.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come
All
on.
right.
Sawyer.
Hey, yo.
This guy was now certified by the American Board of Neurological Surgery. He was,
Oh,
by
wow.
all accounts, a genius. And with Elliot using biological
so you
parts
think
to
he's
make
bitter by
Poppy,
now?
a surgeon felt like the perfect fit. Leith presents this idea to Elliot for final approval. And while Elliot is hesitant at first, he does remember that Harley was the brightest of the bunch back in the day. And maybe all these years away have taught him the lessons he was hoping he'd learn. Do it. With that
Nah, I
approval,
know that smile,
Leith
though.
reaches out to Harley on January 15th, 1990, giving him an offer to come and join Playtime Co. once again. And strangely, despite the hurt Elliot caused him all those years ago, for some
He
reason,
agreed, didn't it?
Harley accepts the offer. Immediately, he
Why,
begins
though?
showing the level of promise they were hoping for from this recruit. He sees the problems at Playtime Co., the public outcry, the declining profits, and he came up with an idea that would fix everything.
Giant toys. We can increase our workforce and
is so creepy?
simultaneously decrease the number of lawsuits and people on our payroll if the people we have working aren't people. Put me in.
Okay, Tia.
Excuse me? Wait,
if
you
a
mean like
wolf
robots?
Sounds like that when he's talking. Why would you trust him?
Why would you bring him back? I probably shot at that as a kid as well.
I mean, he's already put the kid in the doll thing already.
But
It's just
then
like,
again,
it's part of the
though,
process.
Yeah, it's true. He's already,
Yeah.
was it 1950? He done the kid thing. Also, yeah, plus, what's his name? He's established as, he's recognized by American government. I mean,
You know what though?
he's got his resume, you know?
I still don't trust the who talks like this, like I'm surely evil.
Well, you know what they
He's
say.
2 seconds away from a mwahaha.
Yeah,
The thing is, though, evil people normally are the richest.
Oh, so
Kind
true.
of.
Bestie, our villain
Apart
arc
from
needs to
Batman.
start. Let's get our money
Honestly?
up.
Honestly, man.
We're
God.
spin off Andrew Tate.
Like, they just get money out of everywhere. I don't know how they get money out of everywhere, but they just have money. I'm just like, how though? And so they're doing something,
Tax
right?
evasion. That's
There
how.
we go.
Yeah. Copious amounts.
Rich get
Charge
richer.
of it, and I will save this company.
Leith makes Harley
Okay.
head of special projects, and together they begin hiring other scientists to help with the development of the Bigger Bodies Initiative. Some of them are fellow Young Genius alumni like Dr. Bruno White and Dr. Carmine McKay, but others are just young and eager biologists looking for their first big break, like the owner of
Fair.
the Orientation Notebook, PW. From here, the company begins their experiments. Harley takes the new scientists to observe and study the Poppy doll that he remembered being in the storage bay from his days in the Young Geniuses program. He told them to use her as the blueprint to bring toys to life.
I am the cause. Being able to exist as a
Oh.
doll, it has killed so many people.
Everyone works diligently to try and recreate the magic of this one Poppy doll. But after 814 experiments, it's clear that things aren't working with simple rats. They need to try something
Wait,
big.
wait,
Oh my god! Don't
Upgrade.
tell me they're gonna use the. Don't tell me they're gonna. Oh yeah.
Unlucky. Unlucky.
Get the rats. Sorry.
Repeat what Elliot did. They need to use children. Harley
They're gonna
delivers
use
the
children
note to
from
Elliot as one of
the
his
nursery.
many
I mean, from
updates on
the no.
You know what,
That-
man? You know what up? You and I kind of started getting to that point. We were like, yeah, use the gas on the children. And
Yeah,
then,
but
what
we
if
were
put the children in the
joking.
dolls.
I mean, I was kind of joking, but I mean, I was.
Are
No,
you
but
sure
know
you were
what?
joking? Because you were kind of.
Do you know what it is though? To be fair though, like you might as well give the kids a doll and be like, oh look, here's a free doll, and then test it out on them, and then be like, oh okay, write down some notes. But now they're actually now they do. I don't know. This is worse though, because giving them a doll and having them have nightmares is. Are they opening? Are they opening the children up?
Well, yeah, I think they're just putting the children inside the dolls now, right?
That's even worse. So I mean, free doll, have some nightmares. Okay, let's take the doll away from you. Your nightmares
See,
go
this
away.
is why we can't do escalating behaviors, okay? First you gas the children, then you stuff their organs inside of dolls. It's a very
You know what I
slippery
mean?
slope.
That, yeah, I feel like it's a norm to a meme at this point. You know,
Wonder
he's just-
how much of like the child needs to be in the toy, because they want to mass produce these toys and put these out into the world, right?
Oh,
like,
God.
are they gonna have to kill 1,000 kids, or is
There's
it
a lot
like,
of
okay,
orphans
here's a
out there.
finger in this one, like let's put a heart in that bitch, put a thing over there, like how?
Oh, I was like,
quantity-wise?
yeah, one kid could make multiple dolls. Is that what you're asking? I'm not sure. Well, this
You gotta
guy's like a
split the love.
neurosurgeon, right? So I guess maybe all of them have to have a singular brain. I'm not sure.
That's just not enough.
Yeah.
They need to just.
Isn't he
the
a
orphanage
family
needs to go
man,
crazy
though?
at the end of that point. They need to have thousands of kids.
I mean, he's a family man. How could he want to do this to children? That doesn't.
Well,
His
he did
family's
lose his
in a
family.
doll.
His wife left him, and his daughter's in a doll. So I feel
Yeah,
like,
but do you know? But then adopt another kid. I mean, the
well, that's
doll's
the
still
thing,
alive, right?
Is that I think he's so like twisted. Is he's like, I
Yeah.
want these children to live. These sweet
Yeah.
adopted children will become my dolls, and go to happy families with other children. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then
Theories.
what happens when they're like, help me? You know, like to the other kids, and the kids are like, mummy, the doll is asking for help.
Don't help me.
What do I do?
I'm trapped.
And then you know the deadbeat parents going, Jimmy, just do what you're doing, man. I don't care.
I don't feel alive anymore, Dawn.
No, that's actually terrifying stuff.
God.
Man. That's actually terrifying. Oh my god.
That was so good.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, no. That
I
was.
do a lot of voices, man. It's up.
Hey, yo.
Once again,
Bro, I'm
Elliot
getting like
is cool.
conjuring flashbacks.
Up until this
fuck
point,
me.
these experiments weren't really all that bad. It was just a few hundred rats that suffered the consequences.
Oh, just
but
a few
now,
hundred rats.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Not
rats.
enough.
It's
We
just
need
rats. It's fine.
he had a choice to make.
Run,
He'd
boys,
spent
run.
his life trying to bring joy to children, to give them a home, somewhere they could grow and overcome the odds. Harley still couldn't believe this soft old man. What is more important to you, these children or the business you've spent decades building, which people rely on for their own families?
How
Mortality
old
is
is he
just a
now?
curse on humanity anyway.
Old.
If we can figure this out,
Yeah, he
all
would
these
be, innit?
orphans who had suffered would never grow old or sick. They could live forever and keep bringing joy to other children for centuries to come. It was not an easy
on, man,
decision.
think about
but this
it.
argument
is
from
not even
Harley
an
does
argument
sway
worth having.
evidence. With that permission in
Oh,
hand,
God.
the senior staff of Playtime Co. set about building the Game Station, a facility designed to test the orphans' physical and mental abilities, pairing them with a specific toy, and if they were deemed ready, taken away for
Lovely.
conversion.
They'd come for games and never come back.
As part of this process, they
Squid
utilized
Games?
the red smoke that they made for the Catnap toy. Where previously Poppy gels had failed, gas is a much more effective way of getting the mystical
Yeah, it
powers
is.
of the Poppy flower that help bring Poppy to life into the
You're too excited about
Would
that.
would you ever get nap gas for your kids, Dawn? Just
No. My goodness.
Why not?
Listen, what did I do today? I took my kid to like a play space thing. So it's like, it's like a juggle, like.
Oh yeah, the indoor playgrounds.
Yeah. And that tired him out. We were there for like an hour. That tired him out. Just do that.
Yeah.
You know, let him have fun and pass himself out.
What about like half a year ago when he was having his no phase?
Oh yeah.
That's still now. That's fine. Still, go run around.
We're just testing your limits here, Don. Don't.
Man.
Okay, but hear me out. Your new baby is crying. Your other child is saying no. What do you do?
Give the newborn child his mum's titty.
Okay.
And then take the little one to the park.
Okay, that's a good call. It's a good call. Good job.
Okay.
All right, no gas here. Okay.
No gas needed. There's ways to parent, people.
There is ways to parent.
God damn.
These orphans. They install shower heads throughout the playcare to distribute the gas. But it wasn't the most effective solution. Kids could see them and what they were doing. They became wary of going to bed. An alternate solution would need to be found. However, they had other problems to deal with. Over the last few years, there had been one employee that had been causing Playtime Co. a lot of trouble. They weren't ruining their plans as such. They were just a bit of an administrative headache. That man was Rich Lovitz. Initially, he was seemed to be on board with the general Playtime mission, appreciating the good this company did for the orphans. Sadly, though, Rich had a habit of losing his temper with management, and so he was demoted to the rejected toy room, which, as you might imagine, he took really well.
After years of being ignored, the company actually heard all my complaints. I guess my words must have really inspired them to take action, because the next day I got demoted down here to the freaking island of misfit toys!
Oh, yeah, little misfit toys.
Of course, Playtime Co. had to demote him again, putting him to work in construction in the caves beneath the factory. Down here, in relative solitude, he was able to recognize job. And with the help of his new supervisor, began to improve, even to the point of getting promoted. At first, this seemed great.
Okay, this man, his goddamn work ladder is terrifying. It's the decline into the rise into the. What the f is happening? Dude. He's like, it's okay. I'll work in the mines as the children crave the mines.
For Playtime Co. A reformed employee. The system worked. That was until Rich continued being promoted and began learning what was really going on. He cared for these kids. That was the one good thing he had going for him from the beginning. And so he begins flying off the handle once again. The problem was now he knew
this one makes more sense.
He could actually cause a problem for Playtime Co. if he went to the authorities. They couldn't just fire him anymore. They needed to get rid of him. And with the bigger initiative well underway, as well as Harley's requests for bigger subjects, they had an idea. They took Rich and used him as a guinea pig, turning him into the first semi-successful experiment, 1006,
but he has rage issues,
which they dubbed the prototype. Not a toy as such, more a mix of mechanical and biological parts. It lacked the ability to speak, but was able to mimic voices of others to communicate. Playtime Co. was finally seeing success and removing a problem at the same time. But Rich, now 1006, wouldn't forget what had been done to him, nor what they were doing to the orphans. He just needed to bide his time and wait for the right moment to strike. Playtime Co. continued their development of the bigger bodies, but they struggled to find the success they'd had with 1006, usually unable to reactivate their brains after surgery. That is when Harley decided to try something different. He decided to make the bigger body physically bigger, rather than just trying to match the size of the test subject. It flew in the face of all logic, but he needed to try something, and the crazy part is, it worked. They created Experiment 1160, Boxy Boo. And this discovery opened up a new world of possibilities for the future. At this point, several orphans are showing promise in the game station, although there was one that caught Harley's attention specifically, Quinn Navidson. He was a pretty average kid, except he had a strange obsession with removing the heads off of all of his toys. However, Harley didn't see this disposition as a weakness. business.
Nah,
it
you're
was
fair enough, get rid
something
of him.
he could take advantage of, manipulate to get his scores higher and make him a more successful bigger body down the road. Harley spends some one-on-one time with Quinn, convincing him that he understands Quinn better than most, and asking him to just simply apply himself at the next assessment. And next time, Quinn's scores did improve in most areas, although his intelligence seemed to wane a bit, but not enough to stop the inevitable. In August 1990, Quinn became Experiment 1166.
Oh my God!
His intelligence still wasn't where Harley wanted it. He saw him more like a dog, which, while not ideal, could be useful for protection. The more bigger bodies they made, the more things there were that could kill him and stop his progress. So Harley isolated Yarnaby, making Yarnaby loyal only to him. Around that same time, another orphan named Theodore Granville began causing some mischief in the playcare, breaking into rooms, stealing files, even stealing a grab pack. When questioned about it, he just said it was his friend that told him to do those things. The staff just assume this friend is of the imaginary persuasion, but in reality, it was very real. 1006 had found a way out of containment and was using Theo to help them.
Let's
Once
go.
it had all the information, 1006 and Theo made a break for it. Though, due to Theo's inexperience, he accidentally overcharges the electrified grab pack hand and electrocutes himself. At this moment, 1006 has a choice. Gain the freedom it wants or save Theo. It chooses the latter. It gives Theo over to the Playtime Co. scientists and turns itself in to be locked away once again. Now, there is only one way the scientists are able to save Theo. And on November 11th, 1990, the bigger body Catnap was born. Experiment 1188. He was put into the playcare because he was able to release the red gas just like the toy. And the kids would, hopefully, be much less suspicious of this big friendly toy than a typical showerhead. Again, Playtime Co. was killing two birds with one stone. The bigger bodies initiative was now in full swing. Between Catnap and Yarnaby, Huggy was created. And in 1991, he was put to work as Playtime Co.'s new security measure. Though his wandering eyes were noticed by an employee who wasn't supposed to know anything. Rowan Stoll. Rowan wanted to get to the bottom of what was going on and, over the course of a few months, began to figure out exactly what Playtime Co. was doing. When he threatened to leak what he'd found to the public, Harley put his bigger bodies to good use.
Oh God, he died.
You need to start tailoring that appetite of yours to flesh. Get me an update on the situation.
That same year, another orphan, Marie Payne, began suffering from unwakeable nightmares thanks to Catnap's gas, leading to the latest experiment we know of to date. Experiment
Mummy
1222. Mummy Longlegs. She was violent towards the staff, but kind towards the kids, making her the perfect guardian for the game station. And by May of 1992, the game station is in its heyday. Everything is working as planned. But one person is still causing problems. Elliot Ludwig had put a picture up in his office that one of the kids had given him of the game station and Mummy Longlegs. But when he sat there and looked at it, those decisions that had led to this point, they began to weigh heavy on his shoulders. He still felt that Harley's pursuit of innovation for the sake of it wasn't right. But the rest of the senior team seemed to be all for him, and it was hard to deny that the company was seeing success. Regardless, he knew he needed to put some kind of safety measure in place, something to keep Harley in check, just in case his worst fears came true. So he promoted one of the fellow scientists and Young Geniuses graduate, Dr. Bruno White, to become Harley's superior. Once Harley found out, he could think of this as nothing more than another betrayal from Elliot.
Yeah, because you raised the company up this much, and then you put a supervisor above him directly. Like that's. Yeah, I would see that as shady as fuck.
I'd feel some type of way as well. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
This time, he'd had enough. Elliot was too soft to keep things moving forward. He needed to be got rid of, just like every other problem employee they'd faced. One day, both the staff and the public were informed that Elliot Ludwig had passed away. But Harley Sawyer was the only one who knew the truth about what happened. Thanks to Dr. White's promotion, Harley's involvement in things slowly became less and less, leading Harley to become more and more frustrated and driving him more and more insane.
I mean, this bitch was
Until
already
one
crazy.
day, he decided to take matters into his own hands.
Don't tell me he set the thing on
During a
fire.
guided tour of the factory in 1993, fires break out in the theatre, causing casualties all across the facility. Obviously, Leith Pierre is furious. Now, he has to clean up the mess, taking care of any potential witnesses. This is not the kind of publicity Playtime needed. He brings back their private investigator, Jared, to figure out who is to blame, and true to his word, he gets them an answer.
Dr. Harley Sawyer.
After spouting rhetoric about one bad day and being betrayed by Elliot all of those years ago, Harley had finally...
It was just a bad day. Sure, I burned some people to death, but like, you never had a bad day.
Come on, guys.
Jesus.
It's so dark. Oh my god.
Gone full Joker and set the theatre ablaze, baptizing everyone in the flames that he was working so hard to save them all from with his Bigger Bodies initiative. As Leith had suggested, Harley needed to be punished, but he can't justify the usual methods. Harley is an undeniable genius, and it would be a shame to lose such a brilliant mind when they definitely still needed
Would
him.
it?
The Bigger
Oh,
Bodies
no,
were
didn't they?
temperamental.
Oh my God.
No, capitalism really be putting in that work, baby, because there's no way you're like, yo, he be murdering the out of people. But that squeesh, though, that money.
It's like,
Don't tell me
me
they're
out.
gonna. Don't tell me they're gonna put him into a toy,
Oh,
right? Because
What?
I mean, because you can still have the brain, right? And then
yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about that.
without the conflict going on.
Yeah.
If they can find a way to put this man down, yeah.
Yeah, if they could pin him, if they can find a way to not cause harm but use his brain, it would make sense. Unless you just drug him up or something.
Yeah.
Troll. They needed to keep perfecting the process. This also meant turning Harley into a bigger body wasn't an option either, as he
Okay, never mind.
would likely lose
Okay.
his mind. And that was when it hit them. Instead of turning Harley into a bigger body, why not turn Harley into a digital consciousness? They could focus all their attention on keeping his mind alive without the need for a working body. That way, Harley could still help them and guide the scientific process, but he couldn't physically cause any
Hurt anyone.
problems.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I like that. I like
Dude,
that.
Dawn, you were like right there. You were so close to like getting it on point. That was crazy.
Damn. I was close.
That's
But
good.
yeah,
That's good
to use
shit,
his brain
man.
to help them. But yeah, no, me. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Dawn's
We
like,
just turned
this
evil.
man
Oh my
so
God. Yeah.
much.
Wow. That's
He
great.
used to fight
Wow.
wrong.
Oh my
He kinda still
god.
God damn.
You
we
and
should
W Dawn, you don't gas your kids and you don't going down. Okay.
Hey, come on.
WW.
Is underway. The party line is that Harley is just out, maybe on a sabbatical or something. And in 1995, the new Playtime automated companion is up and running, ready to meet with scientists like PW. The system would end up being shut down after May of that year, but regardless, it was another success for Playtime Co. However, as we've seen time and time again, pride cometh before the fall. And this next fall would be the biggest Playtime had ever seen. Behind the scenes, while Playtime Co. had been dealing with Harley, 1006 had been plotting. They'd been gathering all the toys together and promising them the thing they all wanted, freedom. They formulated a plan to take back the factory from Playtime and kill all those who'd helped turn them into monsters.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Come on.
Hour of joy.
Rise up.
And on August 8th, 1995, they executed that plan. They attacked
Oh my
everyone.
God.
Scientists, tour guides, construction workers. It didn't matter. They were all responsible. They all needed to die. The toys dragged the
my
bodies
God.
into the depths and slowly consumed them to satiate their hunger. Only a small few managed to escape the carnage, Leith Pierre being one of them. Despite the insane loss the company was facing, he kept insisting Playtime Co. continue their work. He began recruitment efforts for a resource.
Dickhead, just get the wrong with him.
What do you mean continue our
wants to kill
work?
himself? Like,
Listen,
God.
imagine you had a day off that day as well. I would have been lucky.
yeah. I'm gonna just take a day off. Don't worry about me. Yeah, y'all got
Yeah,
that.
what the hell? Yeah, I'll leave. Like even the guy that got the 1006 that got demoted twice. I'll be like, I'm leaving. Why?
You know what I don't understand is the people who are like, I'm gonna leak this information. It's like, dude, just
Just
leave.
do it.
Just leave and leak it.
If you're gonna leak the information, just leak it. Don't tell me you're gonna do it. That's a target on your back.
Doing it. Yeah.
Just do it. You have it. Just leak it. I'm sure there's internet in 1990, so just do it.
And no other future employer is going to be like, all right, you were against killing children for Corpo?
Yeah. Oh, wait, you said no to doing experiments on kids? Go to jail. Like, what? Just do it.
Yeah. You could be a whistleblower, which means that, like, even if you participated in it, the fact that you're outing it can grant you immunity, depending if they can strike a deal. Like, dude, just like...
Collect the parts they needed to keep making bigger bodies. But eventually, the rise and pressure from the public over the mysterious disappearance.
The game, I played only the first chapter, but like you have like the two hands. Remember, like there was that one kid trying to escape with like 1006, and like he had like the little hand backpack thing. It's like you have these two robot hand kind of things that kind of like slap onto devices to unlock stuff.
Okay.
Appearance of the staff, their friends and family.
I don't know about the other chapters,
for even Leith to handle, and he shut down the factory for good.
About time.
Nearly a decade passed, and the Playtime Co. factory, as well as all that happened there, had largely been forgotten. The world had simply moved on. But in 2002, deep in the bowels of the factory, something or someone was coming back online. Where am I? Harley had awoken from his mysterious slumber. Ironically, just as he'd always stated, his conversion had actually saved him from death. Unlike his former colleagues, he realized the opportunity he had. There was no one left to stop him. His plans could continue. He could save the rest of humanity from their mortal coil and convert them all into living, eternal toys. So he began hacking into the rest of Playtime Co.'s systems, taking control of all communications that were coming in and out of the factory. His plan would come to fruition. At the same time, the bigger bodies also remained in the factory, waiting for the prototype to save them as promised. But food supplies were running short. Some of them began to lose their faith that salvation would ever come. Dog Day was one such toy, and 1006 quickly made an example of him. This type of threat, however, wouldn't work forever, and 1006 knew that. It needed to make progress. It was still trying to create its perfect body, but it just didn't have the know-how. Rich was just a simple construction worker. Sure, he could do some cool things with tech, but biology was a whole other ballgame. It needed help. So in 2005, it writes a note saying that the employees that went missing were actually still in the factory, waiting to be rescued. And it sends it to the only person that's not only around to hear it, but would actually care enough to make the trip. The player character, PW. PW didn't show up for work on August 8th, 1995. They were still alive, and more importantly, they actually cared about their fellow employees. If there was a chance their colleagues were still around, they needed to help them. Now, as a former employee, they knew their way around the factory. They knew where this flower was that they'd been pointed to. They just had to get there, while also trying to avoid an unpleasant reunion with one of the many bigger bodies they'd hugged. PW finds Poppy behind the flower, in the same room she always was. Although there are now messages around the room warning them not to trust her. Regardless, once they open the case, Poppy agrees to help PW escape. See, she's not that bad at all. Only Mummy then shows up and kidnaps Poppy. After beating all of Mummy's games, PW returns to Poppy and takes her to the train, only for Poppy to now change her mind and stop PW from leaving.
I'm sorry, I can't let you leave.
They really should have trusted the signs. The train crashes in front of the playcare, and with some surprising help from Poppy, Kissy Missy, and their ally Ollie, who may or may not be the prototype mimicking a child's voice to trick us, PW makes their way through the playcare. Together, they defeat Catnap and begin the long trip down into Playtime's prison. But Kissy doesn't make the trip. She is killed by something on their way down. And all of this time, Harley has been watching through the security cameras, making his way down to the prison just a bit ahead of them to reunite with Yarnaby and lay whatever traps he has in store for us down in the depths, along with the nightmare critters, Pianosaurus, and a toy made from Play-Doh, Doughy the Dough-Man. And that, loyal theorists, is the entire timeline of Poppy Playtime so far.
You play in 3 and 4,
Alicia,
bitch.
good luck.
No,
you got this, man. We already agreed on this ages ago. Hey, don't try to flip that now,
both of those.
You got it. You got it.
No, man.
You're not gonna play anything? You're not gonna play anything?
No, it's
wow.
It's
Are we
we already
sure
agreed
we
on that
wanna
before.
play this
We
game?
had a 2v1 vote. It counts. There's evidence.
Oh yeah, we did. I'm only doing 2.
Yeah, you're playing
This is still gonna be.
Don.
Dude, I reckon watching it, I'm gonna just still be terrified. I
think it's this looks mad. I don't even want to play it.
Okay, I need you guys to talk a lot when I'm playing because I get
I'm
mad
gonna be
quiet.
as scared as you.
No, I get mad quiet
lie.
during horror games because I get so I get like my primal instincts kick in, and I'm like trying to be quiet because I'm trying to be stealthy.
I'll yap. There might be yelling and screaming.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I do a lot of singing too when I play horror games. Is that okay?
I am not looking forward to this way. Oh my god.
Yeah, I start singing some show tunes. I start singing Hillary Duff. I sing anything that feels comforting.
Cut my life into pieces.
He says, "This is my last resort."
Hello,
man.
darkness, my old friend.
I've come to talk to you again. Man, thanks for watching YouTube. And don't forget to bedrot with your besties and subscribe to the channel. That's right, we upload super duper often. So if you want reactions, you want gaming, lots of reactions, make sure to subscribe because we're here all the time. And don't forget to bedrot with us. We will catch you later. Boys, anything you want to say before we head out?
We might not play this game.
We're definitely playing this game. Don't listen to him.
We're
100% playing this game. Yep.
This is gonna be terrifying as yay.
Yep. And we
I'm
all
excited.
have goldfish brains, so we're not gonna remember most of this when we play it, but don't worry, we'll have a good time. Let's go!
Yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah.
Bye!
Bye.